Greeting jurors. My name is Hanish and my thesis topic is A Nation Within, which is an approach towards rethinking diplomatic architecture. My content starts with my literature review and is further evolved into my architectural design. A small backstory which actually led me to take this topic was in 2018, when traveling was normal, I was in Prague and had to visit an Indian embassy over there. So, after asking half of Prague, I finally reached my destination. So, as I stood over there, I saw multiple structures which looked completely similar. So, I asked the security guard, which is the Indian embassy? And he pointed the structure right in front of me. And well, I was just like, this is the Indian embassy? And that got me thinking that why are these structures, which hold such an important place in diplomacy, are treated like just another structure? After returning, I was talking with one of my friends regarding this. So he said he wasn't allowed to document a street once because it was right outside the embassy. And well, that triggered me that why are these structures, which are supposed to act like a bridge between the two nations, are actually isolating themselves. So hence, this is my thesis aim, to create a geocultural diplomatic structure which is more engaging and contextual. So, what is diplomacy? In the most crude manner, diplomacy is the management of international relations. But it's much more than that. It's a paradigm of way too many factors which function cohesively to create an impact. Diplomacy is conveyed via diplomatic structures. Embassy, which is a diplomatic structure present in the capital city and usually consists of a residential block and a chancery block, while Consulate General, which is similar to an embassy but is present in one of the important cities. The diplomats who stay in these diplomatic structures are further classified on basis of their postings. Evolution of embassy shows the transformation of these structures from a symbolism of power and progress to an isolated and unengaging structure, and the reason for this was because of numerous attacks on embassy. Also, something that was observed was overlooking of cultural aspect over the time. Hence, the idea of form follows culture, where every shape and environment should be a manifestation of culture. Hence, it creates a more meaningful and impactful design. Case studies were done to understand the functioning of these diplomatic structures and how they can create a dialogue between the host as well as the native nation. For example, Embassy of Netherlands, which was designed by architect Rem Koolhaas, used the history of Berlin to create a dialogue between the build form and the context, while Embassy of Belgium, which was designed by a sculptor and not an architect, designed the diplomatic structure as a monument rather than a formal structure. While Embassy of Finland used the geographical location of the nation to create a meaningful design. The Embassy of India in Malé was done to understand how the residential and chancery block are interdependent and function cohesively together. The site was selected considering the new budget which was released in 2019, which suggested construction of many new embassies. Further, shortlisting was done considering a country which had a rich historical, cultural, and economical ties with India. My proposed site is in Jeddah, which is in Saudi Arabia. The reason for site selection were Islamic religion, which is one of the most important religion in India, and also because of the huge influx of people traveling from India to Saudi Arabia, and also because of the revised Middle East policies. My major stakeholders were Indian diplomats who are going to stay over there, visitors who are going to actually use that space, and citizens who are going to be the onlookers who are going to visually experience the space. The Jeddah city images show that along the west coast there are majorly high-rise structures, while once you come to the core, most of the structures are low-rise. Jeddah is situated right next to the Red Sea, and hence the climatic condition in Jeddah is not as extreme as rest of Saudi Arabia. My site is situated in the residential zone of Jeddah and is at a proximity from the main airport and the main dockyard. The climatic zone in Jeddah is tropical arid climate and the hemisphere is northern. My plot is reserved under Government of India for designing of an Indian Consulate General. The area of my site is 9,506 square meter and it's almost squarish in shape. It has roads on all four sides and is situated in the Embassy district of Jeddah. The Turkish Consulate General is at the closest proximity from the site. Majority of people are going to access my structure via the main highway, which is denoted in red. Considering the road hierarchy, the road along the west of my plot becomes the main access road. In the context, north and northwestern side majorly consists of residential zone, while the east consists of office buildings and the plot which is right next to my plot is an open space. On the south you can see is my Turkish Consulate General which can be seen from my site. As you can see in the context images, majority of my structures are G+2 and G+3 and they are all in a beige tone. So due to the height restriction, my viewport is restricted within my immediate context only. As you can see in the images, the site is devoid of any existing vegetation. The material study was done to understand and create a more contextual and sustainable design. My design program is the Consulate General of India in Jeddah. It consists of a chancery building, multipurpose hall, and staff residence, and the total built-up area is 6,700 square meter. And these are my development norms. Now, coming to design. So, as I wanted to create a geocultural design, a nation's identity, I started thinking that how people actually perceived India. And that's why I stumbled upon the identity of tourist paradise, which India was given because of its magnificent beauty. So the idea was to capture this beauty, this paradise into a built form by conceptualizing the peacock, which is a national bird of India and also one of the most beautiful bird in the world. In Islamic culture, peacocks are known as the guardian of paradise. As you can see below are my abstraction from the peacock, and the last one is an abstraction in the planning way which was done by conceptualizing the feather of a peacock. Now I started thinking that how I wanted my context to perceive my build form. India, which believes in mutual harmony rather than dominating, I wanted my build form to actually complement the context rather than overwhelm it. Then I started differentiating between Indian and Islamic architecture and using the play of arches. Indian arches which are usually semicircular while Islamic arches which are usually pointed. As I wanted to create a more engaging design, I still had to use passive strategies to create a secure design. Hence all the accessories are placed indirect so a person can't directly rush in. The water body were placed strategically to actually funnel and restrict people's movement. The facade was designed such that there are less surface exposed to attack. The chancery was placed away from the main road so a person can't attack. There were receding terraces done in the office to have visual buffer. And the facade was designed in such a way that it is dense in the bottom while it opens up going up. So the motion graphic below shows how my design has been derived. So my site, which has roads on all four sides, these two are my main roads. The residential zone which is in north and west, the commercial zone which is in northeast and east, and the Turkish Consulate General which is in the south. My residential block has been placed such as it overviews the residential zone. The central void, which was done to have better air circulation and thermal comfort. The Chancery block overviewed the Turkish Consulate General to create a dialogue between the two. The receding terraces create a visual buffer. The central driveway separates the two spaces. The bridge connected the residential and Chancery block. The landscape was placed in the front side while parking in the rear side, and then the water body to actually restrict the movement and create a thermal comfort. So as you can see in my climate study, the residential block has been placed such that it receives more passive light and the longer facade is facing towards the dominating wind direction. So A is my Chancery block and B is my residential block. My residential block is further divided into wing 1 which is for the higher diplomats and wing 2 which is for the lower diplomats. Even though they are internally separated, the idea was to portray them as a single entity, and hence the residential block looks like a single entity to the outside world. The entrance for the residential is from the road on north. As they were left-hand driving, the driveways are designed accordingly. So you enter from here, you drop off over here, which and the foyer for higher diplomats. Then you take a turn and drop off over here, which is the foyer for the lower diplomats. You either exit or you go to the driveway. Here, this is the entrance for the HM, which is the head of minister. And you drop off over here, and here's the foyer for the HOM. The entrance for the chancery is from the road on the west. So you enter from here, you drop off over here, and you can directly go to the exit or the parking from here. My chancery block A is G+2 and my residential block B is G+4. So as you can see, all my entrances are placed indirect to the main road. Now, the pedestrian entrance opens up in the landscape patch, which can function independently without hindering the flow of design. The water body has been placed strategically to create a reflection and make the structure look more grand and also restrict the movement of people. The landscape patch in front of residents is used privately just by the residents. There is a viewing ramp provided right over here. So this viewing ramp is used to surveillance the events and ceremonies such as flag hoisting to actually prevent any crime from happening. And also in the center there are sculptures of great Indian freedom fighters, so which can be viewed while walking to the ramp. So as you can see, this is the ramp which overviews my landscape area. The landscape pattern has been abstracted from the identity of a peacock. The facade, which is then set in the ground while opens up above. And the idea of conceptual planning, where I talked about the build form in the center, the water body in the exterior, and then the hardscape, and then the softscape, the buffer. So this has been adopted over here. These are my blown up plans for Block A, which is Chancery. So the ground floor for Chancery consists of all the public amenities such as the Councillor Hall and the Multipurpose Hall. The Councillor Hall, which is used for visas and other technical issues and is the most public space in the Chancery, and hence it is placed right next to the entrance. While Multipurpose Hall, which is a double-height space, is used during different occasions and is used by diplomats, their families, and rest of the people working in the office. So hence it has been placed later on. Both Multipurpose Hall and Councillor Hall have been placed on the front facade overviewing the landscape area, while all the auxiliary programs are placed on the rear side. The floor height for Chancery is 4.2 meters. Coming to the first floor, this is the floor where resident and Chancery meet. So this is the entrance spot. So hence the HM office and vice HM office have been placed over here for easy access. The terrace is accessed from the bridge outside. Coming to the top floor. So the top floor consists of other office spaces required in a chancery. The future expansion space is a space where the rooms are constructed on site due to security issues. As you can see, cavity wall has been used in many places to reduce the structural heating. These are my blown ups for Block B, which is my residential zone. So my entrance drop-off is a double-height space to give a sense of grandness when someone enters the structure. Once you enter the foyer, the ground floor height is 4.2 meters to make the foyers look bigger, and not only that, but to flush the first floor residential with the chancery. The rear side of my residential consists of recreational spaces which can be accessed from outside. There is a way which leads you to the chancery from the ground floor. The massing shows the distribution of spaces vertically and how they are interdependent. Coming to the first floor, this is the floor which connects to the chancery. So the idea is that the Indian diplomat need not go to the ground floor to access his or her office, so they can access it via this floor. There is a gathering space provided in the center which can be accessed from both the wings. Now coming to wing 1. This is the plan for first secretary which can be seen blown up over here. And this is the plan for a lower division clerk which can be which is blown up over here. This is my second floor residential plan. Wing 1 has the same floor plan as the first floor, while Wing 2 now has second secretary added. You can see the blown up below. The Wing 2 has the same floor plan from second floor till the top floor, while the third floor plan for Wing 1 is now divided into Vice HOM and HOM plan. So HOM has a duplex plan in which the below floor consists of public spaces such as dining for 30 persons and party terrace, while the above floor is a private floor for HOM. There is an internal staircase which lead you to the top floor. The fourth floor residential plan consists of HOM private floor. As you can see over here, this terrace which overviews the landscape area and the HOM office which is connected to the master bedroom. In the roof plan, you can see the positioning of LMR and the placement of solar panels. So this is the view of reflective pool which gives a sense of grandness to the structure. As you can see, this is the view from street turning, and this is the view from the entrance when someone comes in the car. This is the view from the HOM balcony which overlooks the landscape, and this is the view of multipurpose hall which is the double height space. This is the view of the residential block, and as you can see over here, this is the double height drop off. And this is a view from the top of the ramp to surveillance the ceremony. So as you can see, the facade, which has been adopted from the identity of a peacock and is dense on the ground floor and opens up going up. The play of arches has been used to create a rhythm between both the build forms to make them look like a similar structure. The external finish is a Riyadh stone, which is a local quartz stone in Saudi Arabia. The facade is a GRC panel. The landscape vegetation is usually acacia breed, which don't require much of maintenance and don't require much of water. So as you can see, this is my central void, and this is the double height drop off. As you can see, the ground floor height is 4.2, while the rest of the floor height is 3.35. There is a central bridge which connects residents to the Chancery block. So coming to the services, the substation has been provided right next to the main road and is further connected to the electric meter room. DG set has been provided right next to the substation. The UGT for residential is divided into two OHTs for each wing respectively. A separate UGT is provided for the Chancery, which connects to the OHT. The IC chambers are connected to the package STP, which is situated in the southeast. Because of the dominating wind direction coming from northwest, the foul smell won't enter the site. Organic waste has also been provided right next to it. Use of VRV outdoors VRV HVAC system has been used, and hence outdoor unit space has been provided on the terrace. A balancing tank has been provided for the overflow of the water body. And during rainy season, these act as a catchment area and is connected to the rainwater tank. As you can see on the right, these are the sustainable approaches used in the design. So as you can see, this is the detail of my reflective pool where I needed a dense surface below to actually cast the reflection, and this is a granite setting along the reflective pool. The balcony section over here, the water is drained via drain cells and then taken to a downtake pipe which is concealed via the GRC panel. The cavity wall over here, the internal is a Flemish bond of 230 mm, while the external is a 150 mm stretcher bond, and they're connected using stainless steel wall ties. And the exterior finish is a dry cladded Riyadh stone. So the ramp was a complete steel structure, and the facade was designed such that the molds could be repeated again and again to reduce the cost. As they were 50 mm thick, tongue and groove joints were used to actually create a self-supporting facade. So now I would like to present a small walkthrough. Thank you. And well, the scat is my emotion after completing my thesis finally.